Hey everybody, it's Smiley, and guess what time it is? It's Geek Box time. Today is going to be a little interesting. I'm going to do some magic for you. This month's project is already printed. I haven't opened the box yet. How am I supposed to know what this is? Does anybody know what this is? Well, this is a case for a filament, I think it was a filament oiler. In the box, in here, is some sponge and a couple tools. Well, let me tell you what's in the box. Let's look at this month's sheet. Wait. Yeah, box is still shut. And yes, it is a little beat up. No, I didn't open it and retape it. It's the post office tends to beat boxes up when they come to my apartment here for whatever reason. So this is this month's. It's everything in the kitchen sink. What do we have? We have some random Maker Series PLA. Doesn't give any colors, so it's just random. Everybody could be different. No idea what's going to be in here. 2 small pieces of foam for a 3D filament oiler project this month. Cold pull nozzle cleaning kit. Some extruder floss. Brass nozzle cleaning brush. Or a toothbrush for Chuck Norris. And a 3D Geek Box fridge magnet. So here is the project. It is thing 1692395. And it's printed out in the Maker Geeks Sun Punch Yellow, which I got a couple months ago. Well, several months ago. I don't know. I have a huge backlog of filament that I'm printing through. But you might ask how I know how I have this without opening this to print this. Well, I got an email the day after the box shipped, which I actually got on last Thursday. Today is the 5th of March. I got it on the 1st, but I've been busy. I'm getting ready to start a new job, and I'm trying to get a couple of the projects done. So their manufacturer or their printer for their sheets didn't get them shipped in time, or they got lost in shipment, so they emailed it to me. I had PDFs, so I printed it out. So I actually have the February 2018 project printed, which only took a couple minutes. I mean, it's tiny, and I can put it together now. So let's see what's actually in the box here. Put that back there. And this, I cut my mailing address off so people can't send me stuff, even though nobody would want to send me stuff. And okay, those are a couple rather large chunks of foam. I guess I can make several. I'm not sure how much you're supposed to put in there, but even together it's looks like I can cut it in half this way and cut it in half and get like 8 out of a chunk, each chunk maybe. I don't know, that's different. And a brass brush for your nozzle cleaners, which I have 2 or 3 of around here, but this looks pretty similar to just about all of them. This has the cold pull kit, which, and actually a decent length of, nobody's going to be able to see this, but it goes, and it looks like it's about 1 foot of nozzle cleaning wire, and about the same in the cold pull filament kit. And the magnet with the Maker Geeks logo, which they've kind of switched to in the last few months. So let's zip that back up and see what filament I got this month, because I always like getting random filament. I've got Racy Red, which is we got this previously. I think I've had 2 rolls of this already, and I just finished a roll of this printing something that I'll show you in a minute. And Dark as Night, which is their dark black filament. Both Maker Series PLA, and still in the non-resealable bags. And they've changed, I noticed last month, the desiccant packs. Actually, I don't even see a desiccant. There is not a desiccant pack in here. They had the small ones in last month's, and nope, there is not a desiccant pack in this pack either. So that's a little disconcerting. And it's interesting that they still list their Maker Series to print at $235, which I actually got curious, and with the purple from last month, which I like and I don't like. And I did a temperature tower. This is the one by Buzz Designs that I went in and Simplify 3D and did my custom modified G code. Starts 190 at the top and it goes down to 220 at the bottom. And I don't know how well this shows up, but there is a little bit of stringing on everything and down here. So I bumped my printing temperature up to 200 and 210 for the first couple layers to 200, because everything else looks identical. And there's a few little bridging issues, but it's random. Like this one's good, and this one's good, but the 5 degree is not so much. So even printing at 210 instead of 190 where I was printing is way, way, way lower than the 235 that they say the filament should print at. And I see absolutely no reason to go up that high when that would actually probably end up stringing more than this, which again, I don't know how well this actually shows on camera. But this is that translucent purple from the January box, which I really like, except it's not very translucent. It's more of an iridescent, and it's got some shiny refractive like bluish color, but you can't really see through it even with a light behind it. And more to the point is last month's project, the heart gears. You can see there's shininess to it, and on here's one of these pieces this one I had to knock a bump off of, but everything else is completely unfinished, straight off the printer, printed at 200 degrees. I keep a 50 degree bed for the first 3 layers and then shut it off just to get some adhesion, but you can't even see the support material. It's printed with the fast hexagonal infill. I think this is 10%, it might be 15%, not exactly sure, but you can't see through it. Like some of the other translucent films or filaments, you can see the infill on it. This you can't at all. It could just be because it's dark, but this is actually a pretty cool project that you turn it and it goes around with gears. It's a little hard to assemble. These 2 pieces here and these 2 pieces are mirror images, so I actually ended up I think these I put on the wrong side, and it wasn't smooth, because it's a smooth surface when it's actually in the form of a heart, and not until you turn it that it actually breaks up. The clips themselves work pretty good. This is printed at 100%. I had to modify the STL file that he provided, or he was linked on Thingiverse, because it didn't fit on my print bed for my A8, because every piece was set up in one file, and the layout of that file was for a wider rectangular bed instead of a square bed. So I split it up into 2 files instead of splitting it up into all individual pieces and then printing it out. But the first thing I did was It's like, oh, I'll just print it at 50%. And it was a complete and total failure. It falls apart, the pieces fall out of it. Yeah, and it doesn't work. You have to do a complete resize for everything. But here you can see the structure behind all the pieces. There's multiple little gears, and then there's pegs that fit into a center block, and that center block is what everything rotates on. But at 50%, it didn't work. So the only other thing that I printed this month with the purple was a success and a failure. I printed, well, again with the Sun Punch Yellow, one of the Rubik's Magic Snakes, and it works like this, except when it doesn't. The pins all started to break and it fell apart. I'm not exactly sure why. I haven't had a chance to really troubleshoot it because there's nothing wrong with the pieces. These are unfinished except for removal of a support that comes in the file going from the base to hold up the end of the the plug here, and it leaves a little nubbin down here that you have to take off, otherwise it doesn't spin at all. But that just didn't work. I'm disappointed, but I'll troubleshoot it a little bit and see if I can get it to go, because these are fun. See that I had turned at one point and now it won't turn. Oh, there it goes anymore. And there's end pieces that are a little different. So one of them has just the pin, and the other has the hole on it. The yellow one has the hole, I think, and this has the pin, or whichever. But these two end pieces are different. That was a cool project. I'm disappointed it didn't work, but that's kind of what happens. So my other big project this month that I mentioned last month was that I was going to start building the mostly printed CNC machine from V1 Engineering, I think it is. It used to be Vicious Engineering. I think it's just V1 now. So that's what I've been doing. This is what I've been using the Racy Red for, and this is, I'm not even sure what this is. This is the peachy ice cream filament that we got in another. It came with a weird green, and it's a weird peach. So when I ran out of the red spool, I'm like, oh, I'll use the peach. So I've got some peach parts and some red. I was going to print it all in red. These are the legs. It's not adjusted or completely tightened down yet, but those will all stand up like that. And they have parts that hold, this is what holds all the rails together. And then some bearings, these aren't tightened together yet. That this is what slides along the rails. And there's just a whole big box of random parts, including a shop vac attachment that's a dust shroud. So this is supposed to suck up all the dust out of the, well, most of the dust out of the router. But I've got all the parts I need to completely finish it. I have the DeWalt DW660 spindle that they recommend, and I have the box. It all comes priority mail, so it got here in 2 days, which was pretty impressive. For the kit that you buy is free shipping, and it comes with little bags of screws, a couple extra bearings that don't come in the tubes, all the bolts. This is a different bag because the bag that they were in tore. These are bits that I've started collecting from Amazon and eBay. Used with that. I bought some extra Velcro cable tube, and I bought extra belt So I'm going to build this in a 2-foot by 2-foot and a 4-foot by 2-foot configuration, and I have the extra, both the 3 rails in the one direction to change it, and I'll have the belts. So all I'll have to do is take it apart, change the belts, change the tubing, put it back together with the other belts and tubes, re-velcro the wire back on, and be done. But it comes with all the zip ties and the cables and the stepper motors and everything that you need. The Ultimachine Mini Rambo 1.3, which is the same board that the Prusa, I know the Mark IIs use it. I don't know if the Mark III uses this, and the Ultimaker uses this board for their 3D printers. So that's nice. Comes with a power adapter. And even when he ships it, they put extra cardboard reinforcement in the corners of this box just to make sure it doesn't fall apart. And there's different screws and nuts and bolts and all the stuff that you need to put it together, which I have been doing slowly over the last few days. But I hope to have that completed here this week in the next couple days. Anyway, if you liked the video, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and check me out on my Facebook page where I post some more just random pictures of stuff as I print it out, and some other news, just like when I get my parts ordered and in and assembled and stuff like that. I tend to post there a little more often than the YouTube videos. So I will see you next time. Be good.